Have you ever watched a drama that made you cry, made you laugh, and then broke you open in a way you didn't even expect? A drama that said all the things left unsaid in your life, and then left you with one choice: to pick up your phone and call your parents. That's what When Life Gives You Tangerines did to me. K-dramas are unlike anything else. They are not just television, but they're mirrors. They show us the sacrifices, the losses, the hopes, and the quiet moments we don't notice in our everyday lives. They come from South Korea, but they travel across the world because they capture what's human. They are slower than Western dramas, patient in their storytelling, and deliberate in their focus on small details. They show us how love is not always declared in words, but in small, consistent acts. And they remind us that life isn't about big moments only, but about 1,000 quiet ones that make us who we are. When Life Gives You Tangerines takes place on Jeju Island, known for its rugged seas, its wind, its women divers, the Haenyos. These women, often mothers, dived into freezing waters with nothing but their bodies, lungs, and willpower. They harvested the sea so their families could live, and among them was Gumye, Aesun's mother. Gumye's life is one of the most unforgettable parts of this story. She was widowed young, raising her daughter in poverty, and she had 2 other children. Every dive into the icy sea was for Aesun. Every bruise, every gasp for air, every coin she earned was for her daughter's future. But her sacrifices went beyond survival. There's this one scene that still lingers. Gumye, knowing her daughter Aesun had lost the class presidency, dressed herself in her only blue suit. But she wasn't just content with just enough. She borrowed pearls from a friend because she didn't want Aesun to feel shame. And to be able to do that, she had to dig a whole field just to get the pearls for a day. She wanted to walk into that classroom with dignity, to meet Aesun's teacher looking presentable, so that her daughter wouldn't be looked down on. And that moment wasn't about appearances, it was about love. A mother swallowing her pride, borrowing, arranging, pretending, just so her child could walk with her head high. If that's not love, then I don't know what is. And then there's a plea to her mother-in-law. They never had a good relationship, but Gumye knew she was dying young. At just 29, she begged her husband's mother to care for Aesun when she was gone. Imagine the pain of that moment, knowing you won't be there to watch your daughter grow, and your last act is entrusting her to someone else. That sin broke me, and it shaped Aesun's life forever. Aesun grows up with that loss, carrying her mother's resilience in her bones. She marries Kwanshik, a man who's steady, dependable, and deeply loving in the quietest ways. Their marriage isn't easy. They face poverty, judgment, and endless work. But they built something together. Love forged in hardship. Commitment born out of shared struggle. And then comes their daughter Gumyeong. Gumyong is where the story hits hardest. Because she is us. We are all Gumyongs. She's the child of sacrifice who doesn't understand it. She grows up angry at what she doesn't have. Angry that her clothes aren't new, that she can't live like her richer classmates, that life feels like deprivation. She doesn't see the nights her father works until his hands bleed. She doesn't see her parents sell their house to send her to study abroad. She doesn't understand the fire Asun runs through to save her. She only sees lack, and we, the audience, hated her for it. Because she was bratty, ungrateful, blind. But we also recognize ourselves in her. How many of us complained about what we didn't have without realizing what our parents were giving up so we could have anything at all? Gumyong gets into Seoul National University, an achievement that isn't hers alone. It is her parents' blood, sweat, and sacrifice materialized into a place at the country's top school. Even then, she complains, she resents, she misunderstands. And yet, over time, she awakens. Slowly, painfully, she begins to see. She realizes the smoke-filled room her mother saved her from could have been her last. She learns about the boat her parents sold so she could study abroad. She recognizes the sacrifices not just in words, but in actions. And in that awakening, she changes. And watching her change, we change too. This is why when life gives you tangerines, had people all over the world calling their parents, visiting their parents' grave, breaking down in tears. It's because the story wasn't just about Asun or Gwangshik or Gimye or Gimyong. It was about us. About the sacrifices we've overlooked. About the ways our parents hid their struggles so we couldn't feel the shame. About the invisible labor of love that we rarely stop to acknowledge. I keep coming back to the pearls of Gimye's blue suit, to Asun's sleepless nights, to Gwangshik's quiet strength, to Gimyong's bratty anger that transformed into recognition. These aren't just plot points. They're mirrors. They force us to see how love often comes dressed as sacrifice, how dignity is fought for silence, how gratitude comes often too late. When the final episode ended, I didn't just finish a drama. I finished a lesson. I sat in silence and I thought about my parents. I thought of everything they gave up that I never saw. Everything I never said. And like millions of others, I picked up my phone. I called my mom. And I said what I should have said years ago. Just thank you. When life gives you tangerines, it's not just a K-drama. It's a testimony. It's the story of parents everywhere who loved us through labor, through struggle, and through sacrifice. It's a reminder that life's truest love is often the one that goes unnoticed. It's the drama that said everything left unsaid in our lives. And maybe that's why it healed us.